because the war is against the children of Jacob, the 12 stars, the people who bear the man-child. Now, for those who don't know what happened in 70 AD, I had that also up on Justin TV, and they took it down. So I thought that I would reiterate a few of these things while we have the opportunity, because there was a certain spirit coming out at the time when I was breaking it down. And it was totally deleted. They took it down because it put all the pieces together. Do you know that at the time of 70 AD, when the Romans were killing us, that you had preachers and pastors, or what you would call priests of the children of Israel, preaching for our people not to leave Jerusalem so that the Romans could kill them? Did y'all know that? They was telling people all types of things so that our people couldn't leave. And our people got slaughtered. Women were eating their own children because for a lack of food. The Romans entrenched around Jerusalem for 7 years. For 7 years. And cut off food and water. You notice right now where you all live, brothers and sisters, that your reservoirs are controlled. You can't even control what they're putting in your water, the fluoride that's giving you cancer. All they have to do is cut off a switch and you don't have water. And gate it off with military, and they can do the same thing in your neighborhoods they did in Masada. Okay, that's why the Jewish powers and the people that are controlling Israel today own all your utility stations in the world. When they go into a country, the first thing they buy up is the water and the utility. So they're about to do in the world, to the world, what they did to us in 70 AD. But let's not talk about them because we know what their job is. Let's talk about our people. What did our people do in the face of the Romans looking to kill us? Let's get this out of the Josephus. The complete works of Josephus. And I'm going to show you that according to the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. Because you have people in Babylon becoming fat like a turkey, being prepared to be eaten on Edom's table. On the European powers' table. And telling the people to sit pat. You got some people over there teaching that the ships are going to go and pick them up and take them someplace. You have other people's teaching that the government is going to come to their senses and say, you know what, let's just come together and put our money together and put all the Israelites on planes and send them back home. Let's see, and that's why I put out that scripture, there's nothing new under the sun. Let's see according to the scriptures right here, according to Josephus, who with his own eyes recorded the fall of Jerusalem. What did the preachers and the priests say during the time of our fall? What chapter and verse you at, and what book you're in Josephus, Lloyd?
Wars of the Jews, book 6, chapter 5.
Wars of the Jews. You're in a war, brothers and sisters. Read.
And now the Romans judging, it was in vain to spare what was around the holy house, burned all those places, as also the remains of the passages and the gates. Two excepted, the one on the east side, and the other on the south, both which however they burnt afterward. They also burnt down the treasury chambers, in which was an immense quantity of money, and an immense number of garments, and precious goods were reposited. And to speak in all a few words, there it was that the entire riches of the Jews were heaped together, while the rich people had built themselves chambers to contain such furniture. The soldiers also came to the rest of the passages that were in the outer court of the temple, where the women and children and a great mixed multitude of the people fled, in number about 6,000. But before Caesar had determined anything about these people, or given the commanders any orders relating to them, The soldiers were in such a rage that they set the passage on fire, by which means it came to pass that some of these were destroyed by throwing themselves down headlong, and some were burnt in the passages themselves.
So here it is, you got the Roman armies buck wild, losing their minds, would have full autonomy to do whatever they want to do to our people. Sound familiar to you? They go into the temple, take all of our gold and raid our gold and take it and put it in their deposits. Sound like what's going on in Libya, don't it? Then they go into Libya, they beheaded our people, they went against Gaddafi and they took his gold. Sound familiar? They freeze his assets and say they're going to give it to the rebels. Who's the rebels? The banks? Read.
Nor did anyone escape of them, nor did one of them escape with his life. A false prophet was the occasion of the people's destruction.
Now it says because of this false prophet, it was the occasion for the people destruction. What did this is the guy they trusted in the Lord. What did this false prophet tell them?
Who had made a public proclamation in the city.
He made a public proclamation. He went before the city. Now here it is, the Romans killing people, destroying people, and our people had a chance to get out. But this prophet came and said what?
Who made a public proclamation in the city that very day, that the Most High commanded them to get upon the temple, and that they should receive miraculous signs of deliverance.
So he told them just to sit around the temple and wait for a sign. Do that sound familiar? These same people get slaughtered because they listen to this guy tell them to sit around. Read.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets, suborned by the tyrants, to impose on the people.
So the tyrants, which is the Romans, actually had their own false prophets go amongst the people. Don't forget, these are spiritual people. So you must have people of great orators that believe who can show them. So the Romans were paying prophets to keep the people still while they were being killed. Read.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets suborned by the tyrants.
Go ahead.
To impose on the people, who pronounced this to them, that they should wait for deliverance from the Most High.
Read it again.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets.
There was a great number of false prophets saying what?
Suborned by the tyrants to impose on the people.
Told them to tell the people what?
Who pronounced this to them, that they should wait for deliverance from the Most High.
They should wait for deliverance from the Most High. Do that sound familiar? Do that sound familiar? If the Most High say flee, you flee. Read.
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
This was in order to keep them still. And you know what? The majority of these people that are saying it is because they don't have enough faith and they don't see how they will live outside of the country. So they're trying to stop everyone else. It's one thing if you personally don't want to leave. But why would you try to stop other people from not being destroyed? False prophets did this. You can read it in Josephus. The Romans had their armies prepared to kill the people. And the false prophets came out and say, listen, the Most High gave me a sign. Come down here to the temple. They were killed at the temple. And then the tyrants paid other prophets to tell the people to stand still while they killed them. Why? Because the Romans knew that these people would eventually bear children that would receive the promise. Read.
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
And this was a what?
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
And this was in order to keep the children of Israel from leaving and taking heed to Christ's prophecy. There's nothing new under the sun, brothers and sisters. Edom is sitting back in his secret societies planning a mass slaughter and genocide. They're going to also poison the waters, brothers and sisters. They're going to poison the reservoirs and say it's some outbreak. They're going to do this. See, they tested. They slowly but surely ease little things in the water with no pushback. So they do it slowly. Well, let's put a little Prozac in the water and see what the people say. You tasting the water saying, man, the water tastes funny today. You got Prozac in the water. Then they started putting fluoride, not just any fluoride, nuclear-graded fluoride from nuclear plants in the water. And you drinking the water, making your collard greens with the water. So what's to stop them with they satanic sorcerers, their scientists, from saying, listen, since we control all the reservoirs now, let's just put the outbreak within the water. Because the people are waking up. They're not gonna take the vaccines anymore. So let's just poison them all together. Let's start putting it in the water. And then say it's an outbreak. Because we control the news. We can tell them whatever we want to tell them. And the people are so stupid, they're gonna follow it. This is what they think about us. You got to get in position to control your own water, your own food. You got to be in position to live, to fight. Yeah, you can have faith, but if you're dead, you're in the spirit world. Okay? You're not no place where you can fight. Read.
And that they might be buoyed up above fear and care by such hopes. Now a man that is in adversity does easily comply with such promises.
They say that a man in adversity will comply to such promises. That means sometimes people are in a confusing state. Mm-hmm. So you bring a prophet out who's saying, listen, everything is going to be fine. He's paid by the Roman government. This is your black preachers. These are your pastors. And not only that, you have Israelites now. Israelites out there saying, listen, Most High going to deliver us. Okay. You stick around. It's going to come a time. They're already making it where you can't fly almost. You don't even want to fly. They're going to, yes, you got something?
The airline companies in America are making it, they're withdrawing all flights from state to state, town to town. They're only working on long haul flights where obviously people are supposed to get out of America, but if that's the starting where they're saying no flights town to town or state to state, what's the next stage from there?
Yeah, the brother Mark brought out something key. He says that they're coming up with new laws now that saying that the aviation airlines cannot fly you from one small state to another. Only if you're going from like one coast to the other coast or long flights. So they're going to start slowing up regular flights. And you notice they're doing all that construction all through the country on your roads. It's coming. It's the same thing we're reading here. Who's doing it? The same people who claim they're going to be protected. That the people are going to come against them. But really the war is against us. You're waiting for a war we're already in. You're waiting for a war. And let me tell you, no one loses. The only people that really lose in this war that's coming, this Iranian war, because Israel won it. Because they're coming right back to Europe. They already got their places secure. The only people lose in this war that's coming with Iran is the people that are left in America. Israel want this war. Iran want this war. But the power will leave the whore and come back to the 10 horns, like we read in Revelation 17. So they want the war because they got a place of refuge. All those Jewish people are just going to come back to Europe. They're Romans. They're Romans. They want to sacrifice America. It's finished. But they got the talking heads on TV smiling and saying, yeah, football season and who doing this, just to make you believe, just to make you stand pat. Just to have you stand pat while they look for total annihilation, the last bang. And